Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 2025 Biel Chess Festival. This is a very recent and very attractive top event held in Switzerland. This tournament is very interesting also because it contains 3 different time controls, and also there's Fischer random chess included in it, which is a very recently very popular type of chess. Before it was only considered as one of the chess variants, but now it is almost becoming as popular as standard chess. And today we're going to be taking a look at this tournament. There is the Masters section and also the Challengers section. And what we're going to be focusing on today is the Masters section. And before that, let's quickly take a look at this tournament, some of the introductions of it, because there are so many details that you guys need to know to maybe even help you better understand the games even, because some of the details and the backgrounds might have some effects on the games. So here, the 2025 Biel Masters and Biel Challengers are over-the-board tournaments happening in Biel, Switzerland, featuring 3 different time controls. And here we have the players in the Masters section. There are 6 players in total. And here we have the Challengers section, also 6 players. And just a quick, nothing related to the games or anything. Here there's a Chinese grandmaster here called Ma Qun. He is actually my coach's friend, and he is a really popular and strong grandmaster in China. But so far, the tournament has already ended, some of the sections, and he is not even having the best result. And this also just shows that this tournament is very hard to play, and there are many more strong grandmasters, so it's not that easy for you to really win games and to have a good result. Here we have the schedule and the format. The Biel Masters and Challengers features a chess triathlon in which players compete in a classical and a rapid round robin, followed by a blitz double round robin. So in the classical and the rapid, you just play one game against each player, but in the blitz section, you play 2 games against the same player. And each round robin features a different scoring system, and the 3 or 4 players with the most points at the end of the triathlon compete in another classical round robin for the title. So this is actually really complex, kind of. The classical, rapid, and blitz, and also there are some of the playoffs, are all having different kinds of formats. And finally, we have the prizes, which is actually pretty high. And then here we have the challengers prizes as well, the location, a beautiful place, a nice place to play chess. And yeah, so the time I'm recording this video, this tournament has already ended, well, some of the sections. And today we're going to be taking a look at this. This is the Chess Fischer Random Masters. And here we have the result. As we can see here, look at this result, or the scoreboard of the Masters 960. We have Radoslaw Wojtaszek in first place. Some of you guys might not have heard of him. He is a super grandmaster from Poland, and he is the 6th-time champion of the Polish Chess Championship. And here we have second place Saleh Salam, and in third place Vladimir Fedosev, Aravindh Chithambaram in fourth, and Volodar Murzin in 5th, and then we have Frederick Svein in 6th. So today we're going to be taking a look at this game, which is actually a really decisive game for first place. Here we have Radoslaw Wojtaszek playing against Indian prodigy, chess prodigy. Well, he is not that young compared to Gukash or Prague, but still he is only 25 years old and one of the strongest players in India. And we have Radoslaw Wojtaszek, who is already 38 years old, playing against one of the strongest players in India and also the top players in the world. So can he win, or can he make great progress? So we'll see. He is with the white pieces, and it is Fischer random chess, so the pieces on the back rank are all placed randomly, not really having any patterns. And here Wojtaszek here plays the move e4. We have g5, knight b3, and the move knight e6. And already the computer here suggests that this is a mistake by black because the knight on e6 blocks the e pawn, making it really hard for the pawn to ever push and open up the diagonal for the bishop. And also this knight on e6 is just simply misplaced. It would be better for the knight to jump to g6 instead because it will have more free squares to go to instead of on e6, because now after knight e6, it can't really go to c5 nor d4. So this is probably a slight mistake in the opening, but of course, again, this is for sure random chess, and it's really hard to notice the difference. And here Radoslaw plays the move knight e3, c6, h4, going for the attack immediately on the king side, a5, so black is doing the same, and here Wojtaszek plays the move d3. So far in the opening of this game, nothing really special is happening except for that both sides are showing a slight like a bit of aggressive play in the opening. White is trying to improve on the king side, while for black, he is trying to improve game space advantage on the queen side. And Aravindh here plays the move a4, kicking this knight, the knight, instead of just running away, which is a thing in general that you need to know. When you're playing a game of chess and one of your pieces is getting attacked, for example, in this case, you have a knight under attack. The first thing that comes to your mind is not how to retreat this knight or run away. The first thing that needs to come to your mind is how can I attack my opponent's pieces that has a bigger quality. For example, here, like Wojtaszek, he plays the move bishop c3, attacking black's queen, and obviously the queen is much more stronger than the knight. So here, you either attack a piece that has the same quality as your piece, as the piece that you're getting attacked by, or you attack a piece that has higher quality from your opponent. And in this case, that is exactly what Wojtaszek played. Bishop c3, really nice move. Aravindh here decides to play f6 to block the diagonal and keep the threat on the b3 knight. Now in this case, the knight needs to go back because there's no longer any threats that can be created. Here we have knight c7, bishop g4, h6. So again, these two moves, bishop g4 and h6, were both given a question mark by the engine, but really in actual play, we don't really recognize these slight inaccuracies or anything. It doesn't really make a big difference in the game. Here we have h takes g5, h takes g5, that actually it might be slightly better for white to play h5 to close up the king side, because after that, white will gain control of these light squares, and it will make black very hard to develop the light square bishop, and also in the future, g3, f4 ideas might be possible. But instead, in the game, h takes g5 was played, which might be a little bit beneficial for the black pieces, because it will help black to develop more easily. Here we have h takes g5, of course, opening up the h file. b3 was played, knight b5 attacking the bishop, bishop goes back. Here we have a3 attacking the bishop, and you might be wondering why not just play bishop a1 back immediately? What is the difference between bishop b2 and bishop a1, and why do you need to play bishop b2 when you know that you're going to get kicked by the pawn and then go back to a1? Well, the point is that here, obviously, Wojtaszek, he knows that bishop b2 will be hit by a3, but the point is that he is trying to lure black to play this move a3, because this move creates weaknesses in black's territory as well. Sometimes when one of your pawns gets pushed really high up the board and the other pawns are somehow really far away from it, it is only being protected by a piece. Sometimes it can be really vulnerable as well. I mean, it can attack, it can control many squares, important squares, but also at the same time, in the future, knight c4 ideas to attack the pawn are possible, and it will be really hard for black to defend the pawn. But right now, still black is safe, and here we have the move bishop b6 by Aravindh, attacking the knight and developing his pieces. Knight c4, here we have the idea that I just mentioned. Bishop d4, bishop e6, d takes e6, bishop takes d4, knight takes d4 takes. We have a big exchange going on here. We have the queens off the board, two pairs of minor pieces off the board as well. And here, white is having a slight advantage because first of all, white has a better pawn structure, and also these two knights facing against the knight and the bishop. In this case, these two knights are more active because the bishop on e8 is really not doing anything. Here, black king d2, and black played the move king c7. c3, knight b5 back, but as you can see, these black's pieces are somehow misplaced, and again the a3 pawn is now, as you go deeper into the game, especially in the endgame part where there are less pieces to defend, the pawns are becoming much more weaker, especially the a3 pawn. Here, Wojtaszek decides to gain control of the h-file and plays rook h1, bishop g6, knight c2, e5, fixing the pawn structure in the center of the board. f3 was played so that in the future white will have some d4 ideas and the e4 pawn will be protected by the f pawn. And here we have the move rook a8, trying to defend the a3 pawn desperately. But already in this case for black, if you kept on defending your pieces, like your a3 pawn here, instead of maneuvering your other pieces or coordinate them to better squares, it might just lead to an even worse position. And in this case, after the move rook a8, black's pieces are getting more and more passive as it goes on, and after the move knight for e3, excellent play by Wojtaszek, and here rook g8, but here Radoslaw, he just follows his idea. He plays the move rook a1, and what is his point behind these dubious looking moves? Well, here after bishop e8 back, he played knight f5, and even if black doesn't play bishop e8, and let's say if black plays e6 or something to defend the f5 square, well, the point is that here Radoslaw can just simply play the move knight g4 to attack the pawns. And that is basically what white's idea is. And let's just say if black plays a waiting move, and knight g4 right now doesn't do anything, but here after the move b4, and then c4 will be coming, this pawn will be losing after a couple of moves, and white should be winning with a pawn advantage. So here Aravindh is trying his best to defend. He played the move bishop e8, but after the move knight f5, the knight successfully gets into black's position, and here we have a huge mistake, almost like the losing move of this whole game by black, the move e6. Even though it wins black a tempo, but after you attack the knight, this knight simply just plays the move knight e3 back, and then here knight g4 is coming, and it's impossible for black to stop it effectively. Knight g4 is coming, and black will be losing a pawn if he doesn't do anything. And here Aravindh plays the move king d6 so that after knight g4, well, in this case it wasn't played, but so that after knight g4 there's king e7 just in time to defend the pawn. The best move here is not c4 but instead to play knight c4, and after the king goes back to just simply trade everything, takes, and just win a pawn, and with that white is up a very healthy pawn and should be having much more bigger winning chances. This set in the game here, we have the move c4 by the white pieces, and Radoslaw here, after c4, it does give black some chances. Aravindh plays knight d4, and here we have knight takes a3, bishop d7, but somehow black is slowly holding the position together. Knight ac2 back, offering a knight trade, but obviously black cannot take, because after takes, knight versus bishop endgame will just be simply winning for white because the bishop is so passive and this knight is really active. And the pawns can just start pushing on the queen side to victory. So instead in the game, Aravindh plays the move c5 to defend the knight, keep it more solid. But after knight g4, another really accurate move by Wojtaszek, here we have the move f5, which is a blunder, simply just losing the game on the spot. But already, as we can see, this is a rapid game, don't forget, and the time control is really fast. So here, already, Aravindh only has a couple of seconds left on the clock, where still Wojtaszek has 2 minutes on the clock. He has it to minute advantage, and this is already way too much for Aravindh, and under time pressure, he played the move f5. Maybe after king e7 defending desperately, Black still have some chances to hold the position, but already, since Aravindh is just defending the position for already so long, he decides to go for counterplay, but simply missed knight h6, threatening knight f7, and after rook f8, doesn't really bother anything. Knight f7 still, and after takes, rook takes, suddenly Wojtaszek is just up half a piece and winning completely. Aravindh tried a few moves, g4, but after knight takes d4, e takes d4, and king e2, rook g7, king f2, defending the pawns, not giving Black a single chance to slide into the position. G takes f3, G takes f3, takes, but it's simply the light square bishop is just way too passive and can't do anything. And after the move rook f7, king e2, rook g7, rook h2, bishop c6, and here b5, rook h5, a couple of more moves, and after here finally king a6, rook c7, and after king f1, bishop f3, the final blow. Here we have the game finally over after here king d1, because simply the bishop is just lost. After rook c3, there's king d2, the rook needs to go, but then you just lose the bishop. So this whole game, we can actually, besides the opening, because there's really nothing that is related to openings in Fischer Random Chess, but we can learn a lot of strategies in the middle game, especially excellent play by Radoslaw. He made a couple of mistakes and missed a couple of chances, but in the end, he just played c4. That is a mistake and nothing else. He played really well, and so this whole game he played extremely well. And Fischer Random Chess, it also shows that anything can happen, especially in fast time control. Anything can happen. And in this case here, after this very important win by Radoslaw, he finally, he immediately, after a couple of more games, well, this is actually the last game, he took the first place in the Masters Fischer Random section. But he clearly deserved it with this really nice win against Aravindh Chithambaram. So again, hope you guys enjoyed my recap of this game. And also this might, I'm actually quite curious, me, myself, in my opinion, will Fischer Random Chess in the future, or already actually recently, will it become more popular than standard chess? Who knows? Anything can happen, of course. And alright, thank you for watching this video and also this recap. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!